So these will be your questions, as many as we can get to, because we do want to do some other stuff tonight.
The comments are printed out.
I know, God, look at Brian. Who is he right now?
Hopefully I pronounce all your
together.
names right. Yeesh.
Oh my God, I can't
and,
with your little papers.
These are my little
So
papers.
cute.
So we'll go down the list, and there will be some questions that are very similar to other questions, so we'll try to avoid those.
Y'all, let's not look at that.
Let's just try and do, get some of the big ones out of the way. First of all, I thought this is a comment, not a question.
Okay.
Okay, from Steven.
Jeremy sucks.
Yeah, Jeremy sucks. The end. Yeah, that is the comment. You are so prophetic. No, it was a comment. Jack and Juliet's relationship in The Flash Sideways symbolizes a healthy and respectful divorce that they both wanted compared to what they had when they were alive.
Yes.
Because both had very unpleasant divorces.
Yes.
I never made that connection in the dozens of times I've seen the show. It never hit me that, of course. Because I always forgot that Juliet was divorced.
Yeah.
It just didn't register. It didn't stick with me. So Steven...
Yeah, because her husband was a monster.
Yeah, he was a monster.
Yeah, that's great. Love that.
All right, so...
Interesting. That's why the show's so great.
Let's start with some of the big questions. These are from James Locke. Okay. No E at the end. L-O-C-K.
Multiple questions.
For everyone, which characters' flashbacks made you excited for a particular episode, and which characters didn't? I'm going to say John's always made me excited. Like, if I knew a story was about John and his flashbacks, that always made me excited. The Kate flashbacks never resonated with me. That's not a criticism of her. I'll leave it alone. It's just...
So we're talking about, the flashbacks at the beginning of the show?
Yes, yeah.
Not the sideways.
Okay.
Yeah, not the sideways. I think it was the flashbacks.
Would 1000% agree with Kate's. And not because they were... It just felt like they just always felt so vague. I feel like the other sideways were more detailed, and her sideways were always really vague. You never really... I don't know. They were hard to catch on or just feel connected to him. Sawyer.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, his were fun.
His were awesome. Who did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say Desmond.
Oh, I know.
Because I was battling between John and Desmond.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Desmond's were like
you got
Flash
more of
future.
John's because he's a primary.
Right, exactly.
Primary,
No, and Desmond's episodes were the best, but yeah. I don't look at Desmond as OG. He's kind of different. I mean, he is OG. Obviously, he was on the goodbye train, but he's a little less OG than Sawyer.
Yeah, the season 2 folks that come in.
Yes.
Kind of a different OG, second level of OG.
Yes.
Jeremy?
Yeah. I liked all of them, but it just depended on what happened the previous episode, because sometimes you're just like, oh, this is going, and then it's like, oh, no.
Right.
We have to learn about these new characters. I guess when some of the new characters came on the show, you're just like, do I care yet? But you kind of end up liking everybody, so I don't know. I liked all of them. I don't think I didn't like any of them.
You have to pick your least favorite.
Do I have to?
I mean, that's the question. That's what it for John.
I don't think I had a least favorite. I mean, I guess, okay, so if a certain character started a flashback, did it make me less excited? Because I could rate them after, you see all of them and, which ones I think are best, but I think I really got excited for all of them. I suppose I didn't get excited for, wait, no. What's his name? The Whisper guy.
Oh, Daniel Faraday.
Until you realize it's important. When those characters first came out and then they started having flashbacks, I was like, who cares?
Yeah, we know you don't like Daniel.
I was like, who cares? But then once it got tied into the story, I was like, yeah, time travel. Favorite would be Desmond because his episodes flashed all over the place.
Right. They were awesome. They were intriguing. Favorite couple or relationship?
Sawyer and Juliet.
Oh.
Oh, wait, no. Fuck me.
Jin.
Sun and Jin. Sorry, Sun and Jin. That's
Jin.
what I meant.
Wow.
Okay, Sun and Jin.
Sun and Jin.
Sorry, that's what I meant.
Sun and
Absolutely,
Jin.
Sun and Jin.
The saddest moment on television.
No, but just couple and relationship. That's the... So, overall. It
overall.
It could still be Sun and Jin.
I think it is Sun
They had
and
a
Jin.
tremendous arc.
Yeah.
Remember how much you hated him? We all hated him in the beginning.
I know.
Thought he was a womanizer.
Even the backstory, how they met, what happened with them.
I know.
Crazy.
That was
amazing.
they are the cutest couple I've ever seen. Yeah.
For me, it was Sawyer and Juliet. with
I know they're a close second.
Desmond Penny a close second.
Oh
but
God,
because,
Desmond Penny.
Because Penny they never really gave us a backstory on Penny. Penny wasn't.
We didn't get to know Penny.
So it was all about. That was more one-sided for Desmond, So
right.
That's why I say Sawyer and Juliet.
Yeah, but Sawyer and Juliet were.
Most emotional death for you.
Son and Jin.
Son and Jin.
Son and Jin.
I mean,
Across
God, rip my heart out.
What's the next show you're going to react to? We've actually been talking. Well, we plan on watching Westworld. We plan on watching Stranger Things season 3. Beyond that, we have some things we're talking about. We're just not going to go into that yet. Here's our next question.
Okay.
Alexandra Bowden. Alexandra. Daniel Rousseau's daughter. No, kidding. Alexandra Bowden.
Oh, right. Okay.
Question. Who do you think had the biggest character growth throughout the entire series?
Jack.
Ben.
Well, you said Jack. I'm going to go with Sawyer. I'm going to go with... No, it's still Jack.
It's Jack.
I still think it's...
I was really thinking, I was like, are you really going to pick Sawyer?
No, I was just trying to be different. No, I could see the same. I could see why you'd say Ben, too.
Yeah, that was a good answer.
Jack, because he, started in the very first episode and ends the very last episode. And
I'd be curious to see the tally of
true.
backstories too, because I'm pretty sure Jack had more episodes focused on him than any other character. That would be interesting to see that breakdown. How many flashbacks each of the characters got.
Jack, Kate, and John definitely had. Jack,
The
Kate, John, and
majority.
Sawyer
Yeah,
definitely had.
the majority of the flashbacks.
That'd be an interesting. Somebody do the count for
Yeah,
us.
someone let us
Okay.
know. Someone knows out there.
Next question from Andy McKay. What was everyone's favorite season?
I think season 2, because I remember liking season 1 and season 2 being starting with Desmond in the bunker, just being that's what really grabbed me into the show and hooked me on the characters. So I think it's also when we watched quicker, it was just more of a rush of a season for me. So I think that's my favorite.
I think 2 is my favorite too, just because it.
I agree with the master.
It really. I'm not the master. Of all the seasons, that was the one that kind of took you and whipped you left, right, this way, and that.
Right.
Getting jerked all over the place. Is it real? Is it not real? Is he good? Is he not good?
Addicted.
Are these people real? Why are they homeless? Why are they wearing? They're wearing beards, fake beards. Jesus Christ, what's going on?
Right.
Yeah.
But after that, it was then you were on the top of the roller coaster going down, and you were on for the ride. It was okay. I really loved it when they go to the
season
Dharma
2 was
barracks.
the first hill.
What's the season with the time traveling starts? Or the Desmond episode where he jumps all over the place?
4?
4.
Wow, I'm so good at that.
Yep. The Constant was season 4, episode 5, I believe.
Maybe that's why you were so hard on season 5, because I feel like that was the season he was hard on, right?
I think I really liked season 4 because it was just such a climb to this climax of an ending, and then after that it kind of got a little woo, and then they brought it back.
That's what she said.
Yes, definitely got woo woo. All right, next question. Question for all: if you could save one of the Losties who died before the last episode, who would you save and why? For example, Mr. Echo, Shannon, Sun, Locke, etc.
Shannon.
Oh.
You would save Shannon. Why?
Because we just started to fall in love with her, and then they ripped her away from us. Mm-hmm. And I really loved her.
Oh, Locke. I mean, he works so hard and then gets the short end of the stick. He just gets fucked.
For me, it would have been Mr. Echo.
Oh.
Just because I would have loved to have seen how any hole that could have been left from John dying, I feel like Mr. Echo could have filled.
Yeah, that's true.
And
For
they
sure.
still could have. I don't know.
That's
true.
It all could have been interesting. All right, question for the crew. Looking back on everything you loved about Lost, what do you think you personally saw as most important to the story? What was happening, or why it was happening?
I think
This one's Jeremy's.
I think it's the what, because you watch because you want to know what's going to happen to the characters, but it's only because the characters are so well done and so well written, and the way they're reacting to things is so interesting. And looking back on it, the why doesn't seem as important, because you could put some characters in these situations and it could be really boring.
Right, I agree. It doesn't matter. The characters didn't need to know why either. The story was about them being affected by these things which really made for really interesting characters, right? To be affected by the others and finding all of the Dharma locations and all of that was like, that's what it was all about, to see through these characters' eyes how it's changing them.
Like
and how they're banding together and growing apart and...
Yeah, like how they're affected and how they react to things. Like reacting.
Yes.
Seeing them react.
100% about the characters. But
yeah.
I think that the plot is super creative, which makes a beautiful playground for the characters to...
Exactly.
grow and learn and hypothesize.
I think all these characters could have... Well, it showed that these characters could be in different scenarios and still be awesome because it throws them into so many different things, and it doesn't matter because, for the most part, you just really are attached to the characters, I think.
Yeah, they're just really well-written characters. Really unique, interesting people.
You see them in real life. You see them in what would happen if they were all on a deserted island together, which is the whole show. You see them in the afterlife.
It's
you see
awesome.
them all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it was about how they reacted to what or why was happening. So
yeah.
That's what it was for me. Page 1 down.
Oh my god, that's
Okay.
so satisfying for you.
It was very satisfying. Ian 343SCO. Ian 343 SCO. All right, Ian.
Okay.
So here's the first question.
All right, Ian.
2 things I'd like to hear your thoughts on. 1, how Desmond's story ends on the island and in the sideways. And 2, who's going to raise Jin and Sun's daughter. So let's go with the first one. How Desmond's story ends on the island and in the sideways.
What we think about
Like
it?
what?
Yeah, how did, well, for me, this Desmond's story doesn't end on the island. I mean, I know that's how the show ended.
Right.
And then Ben says, we could start by, helping your friend Desmond get home. And I like to imagine that Desmond does get home back to Penny, and then he goes on to live a great life. And I don't really have an opinion on how his story ends in the sideways. What do you guys think?
He's with Penny, right, at the end?
Yeah.
But not his
in
kid.
the church. Yeah, the kid's not there.
Charlie's his kid's name, right?
Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite part of Desmond's journey was, like, when he was with Charlie and Penny on the boat, and you thought that he had, like, escaped it all. So sad that he kind of got dragged back in, but, like, not sad because we get more of him. Anyway, but what do I think? So, yeah, I mean, I'm glad that he was a really integral part of the series at large by being there on the island and moving that button thing. I was glad to have him play that important role because he's super important to all the viewers, I feel. And yeah, his ending in the sideways, I really loved him in the sideways. I loved how he was like the wrangler. And he what other character would have done it? I suppose Jack, but I love that Jack was the last one because it showed his change. So you'd think maybe at the beginning Jack would be the one to like wrangle all the troops, but I love that it was Desmond. I don't know. I loved it. Yeah, I loved it, Ian.
Jeremy,
what do you think?
Who do you think's gonna raise Jin and Sun's daughter?
Once they get off the island, maybe Ben and Hurley. that'd be a very cute couple.
Oh my god.
Why? I would.
That's so
Of course,
cute.
that means that I don't know when that would have happened.
Like they'd go and get their daughter and bring her back to the island and raise her. This is where your parents fell in love again.
They would have wanted this because they clearly didn't go get you themselves.
Drink this water. Okay. Now you're like me.
Oh
Bye.
Bye. That's so funny. That was a good answer.
All right. This comes from Jacqueline802251. Each one of your favorite characters, scenes, moments, episodes, lines, etc. Basic stuff. I think we're gonna hit all of those. And what would you change? What really left you unsatisfied about the series, if anything? Let's focus on that one. What is something we would change, or something that left us unsatisfied about the series?
Well, I have something that everybody should know.
Here we go.
But
what? You first.
Well, clearly Rose had been to the island before, or she can see into the future, which they don't dig into. Desmond can, but what about Rose? Do we not care? I don't know.
No.
Desmond had a cooler accent. Were you too satisfied?
I guess not. I guess Ben's ending, because we didn't really get a lot of closure with him. And, I mean, while we saw him change and evolve and, like, make the decision that he wasn't ready to move on, it would have been nice to know, like, more specifics about what it was he felt like he needed to accomplish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, he just always remains the mystery character, right? We, like, never really... Yeah, so I guess I was dissatisfied with not getting closure with that character.
Yeah.
Because I like that character.
Okay, here's a question from Octa Rojas, who is talking about a couple of popular fan theories,
Okay.
and he wants your he or she wants your take on it. So
Okay.
here's the first one: the smoke monster was a security system which originally served the island's purpose, like when Mother killed all of those people.
Uh-huh.
It only became evil when Jacob corrupted it. If that's the case, is Jack's personality the new smoke monster? One who wants to protect the island and not destroy it. So, a lot of people theorize that because Jack was down in the heart of the island and he, after Desmond pulled it out, Jack went in and put it back in and was hit with all that radiation, just like the Man in Black was. That now, because the smoke monster's dead, there must be a new smoke monster, because Jack's in the same position that the original smoke monster was in. So, even though the show doesn't tell us that people are theorizing, well, does Jack now become the smoke monster?
I feel as if that theory is aggressive and doesn't make a lot of sense. To me. That doesn't really make sense to me at all, unless that theorist is trying to create reason for that garbage of an episode in season 6 with Jacob and the black smoke and Alice and Janney.
Yeah, it wasn't a great episode.
Right, so it's like to give importance to... I just simply don't... No, I don't like that theory because I don't really think it makes a lot of sense. I think it's overreaching.
Yeah, I don't... And we'll come back to this actually because there's a question where I want to talk about the origination of the black smoke thing in a minute. But I don't particularly like that theory. Just because I think it's people trying to, like you just said, I mean, make sense of a bad episode.
Right.
Trying to give that episode importance. And
right.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's currently a black smoke monster on the island.
I feel like no, 100% no.
I don't think.
And that wasn't Jack's journey.
No.
Yeah.
Here's the second question that Dr. Rojas has. Jack's son, this is the theory. Jack's son in the Flash sideways. Remember,
yes.
John said
13 Reasons Why.
You don't have a son.
Oh, yes.
Right? Jack's son in the Flash sideways is actually his son, but with Kate. So the theory would be that Kate is pregnant when she leaves the island. I always thought that his son was just there because Jack needed to work out his issues with
it's not about who he's in love with.
Son.
Yeah.
That's
not what it's about.
Yeah. I would hope it wasn't Kate's.
That would just be my particular thought on it.
Yeah. Same. Sorry about the theory hate. Sorry.
No, there's hundreds of theories out there.
Yeah. Okay.
Spectacular Webhead says, "Were you happy with Walt's arc? I feel like he was a wasted character and he should have been explored more after season 1. What do you guys think?"
It's kind of weird that he just kind of disappears.
Yeah.
And kind of comes back briefly.
Especially after they made him seem so important.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Yeah. Yeah. They really did chip us of that.
Yeah, I was excited.
It didn't really make sense.
I thought he had powers and was gonna.
I thought he was making the polar bears.
Right.
The birds.
We may come back to that in a second.
Yeah.
Work Hard, Nerf Harder says, top 3 favorite characters and why? Maybe even 3 least favorite. So, bam. Here we go. Rapid fire. Boom.
No, don't make me go first. Don't make me go first.
All
Oh my god.
Desmond, Jack, Locke. Least favorite?
3 least.
Well, I don't even remember the names of them, probably. Those 2 characters that get buried. But even though that was funny. And then...
Nikki and Paula.
Yeah, and then for a long time I didn't like Charlotte, I suppose. But I kind of like her in the end, I guess.
Yeah.
Next time, I'll say that. I'll say Charlotte, Nikki, and Paula.
Okay, I'm gonna say Desmond, Richard, and Sawyer, and my least favorite are going to be Ilana. I forget his name. The bigger guy that had the ash and spread it around. I can't remember his name. Ilana's lieutenant, basically, and then the other guy was Caesar. So season 6 people. Hannah. 3.
Okay, this
Boom.
is very difficult. But I'm gonna have to say Ben, Locke, and Sawyer.
And your 3 least.
Sorry, Desmond. I love you. My 3 least, definitely Charlotte. Yikes. Okay, definitely Charlotte. Oh my god, that horrible guy on the island.
I just thought about that.
Who was all yell, 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 yell.
Who's that guy?
Wanted to kill Saeed.
The designer guy?
I hate him so much. He was like the design. It was like before Juliet died. He was like working under LaFleur. Oh my god,
What's that guy's
fuck
name?
him.
Oh god, why am I blanking?
Garbage.
Yeah, I'm gonna change all 3 of my votes to that guy.
I mean, so him, Charlotte, and I guess who's the third for me? I just thought of it and lost it. Arms. Hate him too.
Yeah. Alright, guys.
LOL, he sucks. That guy.
Yeah.
We're going to run through these. Ben Ward had a few questions, but I'm just going to choose one of them.
Okay.
Would you want to see a sequel or spin-off series, or even a reboot? If so, what would you like from it? So, there's been a lot of talk of, hey, will Lost come back? Will you do a sequel or a prequel or anything like that? So what do you guys think?
Do you want to go first?
I think no, because they're never good. They never work. I mean, rarely, I think. Especially with TV shows. But if there was going to be one, it'd be cool to have one about Desmond, maybe.
About how he got off the island?
Or something. Have more of him.
Right, just more in depth of like how he ended up there and
But then
what
I
was
feel
his
like-
life like in the bunker.
I feel like it wouldn't work because I think it's so cool because he doesn't have as much and you really latch on to like when he has his episodes. And if they had a whole show about him, it's not, like I don't think anything would work.
Okay. What do you think?
I mean, the sap in me says, yes, let's create a sequel, and we see where all they're at now, and they're so happy in their other life, and they ended up in a special heaven all together, eating mangoes.
Sappy boring!
But I mean, no, but I think a spin-off could be kind of cool, perhaps like a spin-off of Ben and Hurley on the island and there. And that whole, because I feel like they'd probably discover even more about the island than, you know, we even learned about. I think that would be cool.
Right. I originally thought that would be cool to like see, I want to know how Desmond got off the island. I want to see what does Ben do? What does Walt do? Maybe it could just be Walt's
Oh, yeah.
Like
Right,
Walt is the, what happens. But then I thought, and then I was thinking about it, and I was like, he's just never going to recreate the magic of the original show, so it's got to be something completely different.
Right.
And then I thought, this is what I really would like to see. I would be totally on board for this. Imagine a show where you have no idea that has anything to do with Lost. Mm-hmm. It's way back in time. It's about there's a boat full of people who look Egyptian, but we didn't call them Egyptian. And they're going across, and they go through a storm, and they crash land on some island somewhere. And it doesn't seem like Lost. It's not a Lost show, but like at the end of the first season, like something happens, and you realize, holy fuck, this is the same. This is the backstory of how all this shit got there, how the statue got there,
Right.
how the smoke mountain. What is the mythology?
Yeah, that would be cool.
What I would love to see
Like
that,
the lore.
not in a context of modern day at all. Don't do any fucking time traveling where Hurley comes back. I don't want
cameos.
that shit.
Yeah.
I want a sci-fi based mystical religion island craze. I would love to see that.
Oh my god, make it!
Like
2 down. Lethologica 02 rather, has several questions. Let's find the best one.
Okay, Lethologica.
Okay, well actually, alright, this first question is a callback to a question we just answered. What do you think about the theory that Jack got Kate pregnant when they slept together the night before the Ajira flight, and she went on to have Jack's baby off-island?
I don't like it.
While I'm not personally sure how I feel about it, Evangeline Lilly is a big supporter of the theory, and some other people think it explains David in The Flash Sideways without him just being a construct of the realm. I forgot about that they slept together before the Ajira flight.
Don't like it. And I don't care that the actor who played Kate likes it. That makes me like it even less.
Jeremy's back!
And that's the fucking tea!
Okay, do you think Echo's final flashback during his dying moments of him walking off into the sunset with his brother was Echo's version of the Flash Sideways, or just a random clip from his backstory to make his death less jarring, despite it having no relation to the rest of the flashbacks from that episode?
Okay, whoever posed that it could be his Sideways, I love you and I want to kiss you on the mouth. That is, I love that. I love seeing it that way. It should definitely be his Sideways.
I don't think they planned it to be that way, but I think that works that way.
100%.
I think it's definitely the latter, where they just wanted to make it seem more, whatever. But yeah.
Give him more, like...
Yeah, let's just rewrite it.
I love that.
Or not rewrite it, but relabel it. Boom.
Yeah, let's relabel. Yeah,
Sideways.
love that label. Slap it on with super glue.
They should have added it in the last episode and just had the clip of him.
They
for
should
one
have
split
had
second.
it in. They should have had it in a deleted scene.
What if they had like every character that had died in the room? Like you had the two. I literally just forgot their names.
Nikki and Paolo.
Nikki and
Like
Paolo.
Nikki and Paolo. Like Jack walks in and Nikki and Paolo are first, and they're like.
You guys meant nothing to
And
me.
he's like, Dad?
And like that teacher who blew up or something.
Arns.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this question is from SDJ Coxie, Stories That Matter. And this question is, there's a list of questions, but we've kind of answered some of them. But this one is specific to something we were talking about earlier. Favorite main character who joined Season 2 onward. That would be Desmond, Ben, Juliet, Bernard, etc. Or a character from Season 1 who died in the middle or later seasons.
Who's my favorite of them?
Favorite?
Yeah. Favorite, let's just stick with the Season 2 onward. So, like...
I said in my answer, it's gonna have to be Ben for me. Obviously Desmond is really up there too, but Ben is such a fascinating, interesting character, and that actor is phenomenal. He's amazing. Yeah. I could watch him on screen for hours.
Michael Emerson, he's so good.
Yeah, he's incredible, and love him. So is Desmond, God, but I'd say Ben is.
You guys should watch some behind-the-scenes content with Michael Emerson, like him going through and meeting the producers and stuff like that. You should watch some of that.
1,000% I'll look that up. Yours is Desmond. Yeah, you're
I'd
both.
say Desmond. I agree with.
But in this particular case, I'm going to go with Juliet. I remember how much you hated Juliet because I was sitting here like.
Knowing I would love her?
Knowing that you would love her, but also clenching my fist I was like, oh, damn it. She's fucking Juliet. Don't fuck with Juliet.
Oh, man.
You and Hannah both, you were all like, I don't like her. She needs to shut up. She needs to, and I was like, you are going to be crying tears when you see her fall down that well.
I know I was.
Yeah. But that's the joy of reactions. That's the joy of reactions.
Yeah, I did really love her. And her and Sawyer, God.
But she was so awful when you first meet her.
Right,
she's
you don't
so
know what she's doing. She's manipulative, condescending. Her and her fucking sandwich.
Eat a sandwich. Okay.
These are some repeat questions.
Sorry. I digress.
Daniel Gray says, my question is, do you think there is a connection between the fact that they are engulfed by a bright light in the church and the beautiful bright light that they are protecting on the island?
I'm sure.
I love that question.
Obviously, yes.
I love that question.
All right, moving on.
Your guys' questions are so good.
Okay, this one is from Vixter5001. Vixter says, do you think Kate and Sawyer give it a shot once they get off the island, despite both loving others who now died? Oh, and I like to think Sawyer was a great dad to Clementine.
Me too.
I love that, yeah. I like to think that too.
No, I don't think they give it a shot.
Really?
I feel like maybe Kate would want to, but...
Oh, absolutely.
I just don't think it's there for them. I
I kind of felt that way. I feel that way the same way you do.
Yeah.
After their talk on the dock,
Yeah,
when he says, maybe some of us just aren't meant to be together, or like some of us are meant to be alone.
right.
I really thought Kate, to her credit, took that conversation to heart.
Right,
and I
they're
don't
like
know.
the pair of friends that like make a pact to get married. Like,
Hey, we still have our 40 deal, right? We're both still single at 40.
I'm all yours.
Yeah.
I just don't really see them. I see them definitely remaining friends, and perhaps maybe they sleep together, but I don't think they actually date or anything like that. I can't imagine that being their tea.
If she does have a kid with Jack, then I'm sure that kid and Clementine play together, but that's about all.
Oh, so cute.
They could be friends with benefits.
That would be really cute. Yeah.
Vixter also asks, do you think, this is a popular fan theory.
Wait, can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
I don't hate the theory of Kate being pregnant and having Jack's kid and getting to be a mom and love a kid because she lost Aaron and all those lovely things. I don't like thinking that his kid in the Sideways was hers. So I just wanted to edit my opinion there.
Because in the Sideways, the kid belongs to Juliet.
Right, like it's different. Like
So-
I don't.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want the
It's kinda-
Sideways kid to be Kate's, but do I love the theory of Kate having Jack's baby? Yeah, I love that. I think that's really sweet.
Very good. Vixter always also says, this popular theory, do you think Rose and Bernard are aware of the truth of the Sideways from the start of season 6? So when the plane doesn't crash, Jack is holding on to the seat, and they get the turbulence, and it's over, and then Rose says, "You can let go now," and he says, "What?" And she says, "It's over. You can let go now." And he's like, "Yeah, I guess we made it." And she's like, "Yeah, I guess we did." And
Prophetic.
and Bernard
You
comes.
can let go now.
Bernard comes back from the bathroom and sits down, and he says, "Next time, remind me to hold it," or something like that, or whatever. And she's like, "I missed you." And it's just the way they perform that scene. A lot of people theorize that those two characters immediately knew what was happening,
I love that theory.
unlike everybody else who had to,
I mean, that makes sense.
because they were living their truth before they died.
Exactly.
They were 100% dialed into. This is how we're gonna end.
I think
our
I
life.
agree with that theory for sure. I love that theory. Oh my gosh.
It's really, if you go back and watch it again, you'll be looking out for those things, and it's a good theory. I like that theory.
Yeah, that's a great theory.
And also we never did see them remember.
Exactly.
So
That's
Exactly.
true.
moving on.
Wow. Good theory.
Felipe says, in season 1, if Boone didn't fall from the Beechcraft, then Locke wouldn't be hitting the hatch during that night, and therefore Desmond would commit suicide, and because of that, the button wouldn't be pushed, and it would be the end of the series, right? All of those things are true. If Boone doesn't fall from the Beechcraft, Locke wouldn't have been bloody, beating on the hatch door, and he wouldn't have gotten...
Right. I mean, Boone had to die.
Boone had to die. It was a sacrifice that the island demanded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So all of his other friends could live.
Interesting.
I like that theory.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to know your
Well, that is
favorite
true.
order of seasons, but I think we kind of answered that with our favorite seasons, and I think placing them after that, you guys only having seen it once, it's kind of an arbitrary
I have to
order.
look at the episode lists
Right.
and stuff. And
2, 4, 3, 6, 1, 5.
Like I said, arbitrary.
I think 4, 8, 15. Wait.
No,
what did I
wait. 2, 4, 6, 3, 5, 1. I really liked 6.
4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
say? Yes. In that order.
Lostremer, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, specifically asked me a question.
Oh, wait, I want to read it.
Oh yeah.
That's right there. You read it.
Lostremer.
Is he,
Brian, what is your favorite show? In the beginning of this series, you claimed something like, Lost is my favorite network show. Lost is my favorite show, period. So, what is a better show in your opinion? Why?
One
I
week
love the
ago-
way you read that question, because now I feel like a gauntlet has been thrown down. It was like, in the beginning, you said this. Well, I'm saying this. So, what's your excuse? Well, the reason I said it was my favorite network show, my favorite primetime TV show. And I think that still holds true to this day. I think that of all the free TV, ABC, NBC, CBS, Lost is the best well-rounded show on television that way. Now, pay TV like HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, Netflix,
do I know the answer to this?
Hulu. I couldn't even. I haven't really thought what my best or what the best TV show is, and that's a hard one. But like, primetime was easy. Lost. Period.
Right.
If you go to HBO, Band of Brothers is amazing. It's only one season though, so you can't really hold that up. And it's also historically
So what you're
accurate.
saying?
You can't hold that up next to Game of Thrones, which is an amazing series, even though we all kind of hated the ending.
We did hate it.
Yeah,
Just wanted to clarify.
That's another one of their questions. We'll get to that in a second.
Oh God.
But so I don't think I could say what my favorite all-time television show is. I don't think I have one.
It sounds like
Lost is
it's
close.
Lost.
Well,
Yeah.
but
It sounds like it is.
there's a lot.
It doesn't sound like it's not.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
sounds
but
like
I
it's
love Carnival. I love Carnival. It just
More than Lost?
It's not over. It's to me, Carnival never ended.
Really?
For me, Deadwood didn't end. I still haven't seen the new Deadwood movie.
We haven't seen
Okay.
it.
And there's other show. Hell on Wheels I love, but I wouldn't pit it against.
Lost.
Hey.
That's. What?
It's Westworld, isn't it?
So,
It's not Westworld. It's not Westworld.
Brian, it sounds like you're trying to think of your second favorite show.
Exactly.
I don't.
Boom.
It's
Roasted.
boom.
Boom roasted.
Boom.
I got like a boom, boom, boom.
Slender Fox now has some questions.
Slender Fox, hello.
Um,
Hello.
Now, Jeremy, this is a good one. I think maybe you should take this one.
Ooh.
But it's going to be hard for you to answer this because you've had to hold the show back at arm's length. But what's everybody's favorite song from Lost? So I shared some of mine in the comments of another video. But was there? You won't be able to name the particular song, but is there a particular moment where you were like, "Wow, the music here in this moment really got me"? And for me, I would say there's a moment on the beach. It's called The Gathering, and it's when Rose and Bernard see each other, and when Jin and Sun are reunited. This is in season 2. That music kills me every time I hear it. It makes me cry. So is there a particular, was there some theme in the show that you remember that is iconic to you, that really...
Yeah, there's one, the song that plays every time, it always brought tears to my eyes. It goes, you all, everybody. Done anything in the boom. And every time I hear it, it's starting right now.
Stupid people wearing expensive clothes.
And I really agree with the lyrics. I just feel them in my soul. I don't know. I don't actually know. I don't know if I have a favorite, like... I would have to watch it again, you know?
Okay.
What do you think?
Oh no, I was just laughing at this. Slender Fox also wanted to know what's one character you wish you could have seen more of, whether it's getting a flashback story for a character like Cindy, who's the stewardess. Like, that probably would have been funny.
That's really funny.
Poor Cindy, living the most vanilla of lives, you know, maybe, I don't know, had a little fling with somebody in one city, and just like, she's just the basic girl, and she gets thrown into the island.
Cindy.
Poor Cindy. That would have been hilarious.
Who would I want to flashback? I want to think about this for just a second, because I feel like...
You know what would be really funny is if they do a flashback and it cuts to like a polar bear in its natural habitat before it got taken to the island.
Oh my god.
Just
a flashback about a polar bear.
Really
Yeah.
And how it was in the zoo.
Stayed in life.
And then it got sent to the island. Alright guys,
I'm really trying to think of this question, but can I...
We're running out of time.
I'll do it later. Sorry, I
Okay.
can't think right now of it.
All right, last question. From N. Salerno. Out of all the people who had the misfortune of stepping on the island, who had the worst life? I think Danielle. She got there, lost her baby, lived alone, went crazy, and then died.
I mean,
think you nailed it.
You really nailed it.
I don't think
Nobody had a sadder life than that.
Well, I think that the mother of Jacob and the Men in Black just having survived this. Doesn't she and then getting help by this woman, and then as soon as the baby comes out, she wants to hold the baby, and then she gets killed with a rock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but is that worse than having to live for
No.
16 years, then see your baby, get it back, and then get killed?
That's the worst.
I don't know. That seems worse.
That is.
She also didn't go crazy.
That's the worst.
Well, but she also the pregnant woman lives as a ghost on the island and has to watch everything happen and can't do anything about it. So
Danielle
that's kind of
wins.
similar. But
Or Richard.
Richard, that's rough too.
But Richard gets off the island, so that negates that.
And he has a life. Yeah, Danielle.
Yeah, Danielle.
Poor Danielle.
Good one.
However, being buried alive has always been a fear of mine, so I would have to say to any characters that got buried alive in the show, that would be pretty terrifying and horrible.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. Well, it was an amazing journey, and
The best journey.
we gotta go. But we will talk to you guys soon. I'm running out of tape. Tape. Tape isn't a thing.
Wow.
But we love you guys. We miss you, and there will be
Love
something
you.
new out soon. Okay, bye.
You all,
Love
everybody!
You all, everybody.
You all, everybody!
Once again, thank you guys for watching Lost with us. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll have some Westworld Season 3 videos out soon, and after that, we should get back to Stranger Things. Stay tuned for further updates on the channel, and we'll see you next time.